hello, hello. Hello, hello. I figure I have a minute. I'm trying to get my computer all... Okay. Hey everybody, it's Sunday. And I've spent this weekend outside sanding. I had to sand this down really good so I could chalk on it. And I'm debating on whether I wanted to stain it or not, but I think I'm going to leave it in its natural state. I'm getting it all over the computer. So I'm still kind of trying to... This is a very, very rough piece, and I'm just hoping and praying that I sanded it and then I'll wax it enough to get a nice, design on it. I'm planning on doing this on here for the vintage market days. I love it. I had this piece in my craft room that I picked up at the thrift store for $3. Mix the media, office panel pine. I'm not even sure. I don't need that on there. I definitely want to take this Goodwill sticker off of it. But $3 for this big massive piece is not bad, right? So anyway, I had it in my craft room, holding on to it for the perfect piece, for the perfect thing. And the spring summer catalog came out, and my friend and I we're making things for vintage market days. And check this out. Look at what's in the catalog. So I'm really hoping that I can make this. I debated on whether I wanted to stain it gray or not, but I don't think I'm going to stain it gray. I think I'm just going to leave it in its natural color. I like it. The more I looked at this picture, the more I liked it. So I'm wanting to duplicate that as much as possible for the show. We're doing a lot of stuff that we see in the catalog so that we can kind of set display up similar to what we're seeing there. So yesterday I took this outside. Boy, was it windy. It's a beautiful day. It's very windy. This was a very rough surface, and it's still a little rough, but not like it was before. I would not have been able to do this because I would have ended up with a ton of splinters if I had done that before I sanded it. So now I'm going to take some min wax and I'm going to put wax on this whole entire thing, hoping to smooth it out a little bit even more so that I can get a good transfer on here. And then I'll have to make sure, well, I guess it doesn't matter which direction I put it because there are no hanging brackets on it. I'll have to see if I get some D loops or something like that to put on there. So, yeah, so I was planning on starting this, so I thought, I'll just jump on and see if anybody joins me and wants to hang out this Sunday afternoon here in the group. So if you hop on, please say hi and let me know you're here. And if you're watching the replay, please type #replay so I know you caught it. And what are you doing? It is the first day of spring, Sunday, March 20th, 2022. So, Sunday, March 20th, 2022, right? If I can say it, that would be great. And today's the first day of spring. Yesterday was my sister's birthday, but she's in Washington State, so I don't get to, and I'm in Oklahoma, so I don't get to take her out or anything like that. But I know she and I, we'd have a blast. The two of us, we'd have a blast. Girls' night out, two sisters. especially if we could include our third sister. And even our fourth. We have a half-sister on the East Coast. And then we have our sister-in-law on the East Coast as well. We're kind of spread out all over the country. Does your entire family live in the same state you're in, or are you spread out? We're pretty spread out. I'm just kind of doing a good amount of wax because this is a really rough surface. Even after sanding it. Oh yeah, that's nice. Soft as a baby's bottom. Very important when you're doing your transfers. See, I just picked up a splinter. Right there. Luckily, it didn't get in my fingers. I don't know. I'll just wax extra here. It's in the crack, right? It's in this crack right here. It's really close to that crack. So, I may be able to set it up so that it's, I mean, I don't want it waxed, I don't want it sanded absolutely perfect because I want it to be kind of rough, you know? But I gotta be able to do the design. Let's see. I know this live was kind of spontaneous. I really wasn't expecting to do this. But it's been, you know, it's been a little while, and I thought it'd be a good opportunity if anybody was to jump on. I thought it would be a good opportunity to get to know my friends a little better, especially my new member, our new members. This is not mine, this is us. Okay, so I can set it up so that 2 is above the crack and 3 is below the crack. Or, it depends, I'll have to measure it, because if I do it exact center, I think the 3 will be on the crack and that won't be good. So, this will take a little preparation in advance before I stick it down to make sure it's lined up well. Hi, Sandra. How are you? How are you spending your Sunday? Are you making beautiful things? Or are you hanging out with Sweet Pea? Making sure I do a good coat. I may do it in sections so that I can line things up so that, oops, seriously. I don't want that much, that's a little too much. So I have this event coming up, and it's like a 2.5-hour drive from here. And I drive a Kia Soul. Luckily, my friend's husband has a pickup because there's no way I'd be able to get all the stuff that needs to go over there myself unless I rented something big. Alright, I think. Oh yeah. Very nice. So different. Very nice. Alright. So now I can put the wax away. And I'm going to do this a little bit. Oh, yes. You got to get your homework done. This is kind of my homework too, I guess. I only have this weekend and next weekend to finish getting everything made, so I've done most of the small things. I just haven't done the big things. Okay. So our next step is to put this on there. Ooh, yeah. Okay, so I am going to need to This is brand new, so I have to write on here fishing rules. That way when I put this transfer back on to the backing, I will be sure to put it on the correct side. You don't want to put it on the back because you don't want to put it on the back of the backing because it will stick really bad. Let's see, I'm going to take my fuzzing cloth. I've got a piece of sandpaper. I'm going to move this little guy out of the way. Oh, goodness gracious me. There's been a lot going on here. Let's do this. There we go. Okay. I'm going to remove this. I need to wash my hands really quick because they're kind of dirty. I don't want to get that wood stuff that was on the table on the back of my backing, on the sticky side of my transfer. So this is pretty big, so I'm going to peel the backing off of the transfer rather than peeling the transfer off of the backing, because I am really good at getting this thing stuck to itself. So this way I reduce the risk of doing that. And we're just going to fuzz it. Fuzz it, fuzz it, fuzz it. Fuzz it like crazy. So how are you coming along? Is it about ready? Okay. A transfer this big, I need to wash in the tub. I guess that's one of the reasons why I'm hesitant when I put off the big stuff to last. Because I have to wash this in the tub because I don't have a sink big enough for it. And I'm old. And bending over the tub is hard. I love these though. I mean, look at this thing. It's incredible. I'm still debating about the gray stain. If I stain it, well, I just waxed it really good, so I don't think I can stain it now. It's probably too late. So the decision is made. Because I was thinking if I stained it gray, it could look like weathered wood. Just started because I went yesterday to gray. Oh, baby kitties, did they lose their mommy? I'm using the terry cloth side. I think it might go faster. Okay. So now, I'm going to move this over here and bring this back up on the table. And I think that was the rougher side. So I'm going to put it this way. And I'm going to do the paste and peel technique. Oh, 2 weeks old. Oh. Where's mommy? Alright, I haven't pushed it down yet. I want to measure. Let's see. 2... right there. Oops, I lost track. Okay. Oh my goodness, this is like almost exactly centered. 4 inches. Oh my gosh, that never happens. Okay, and the perfect thing about it is the crease is right there. So the 3 will work there. Number 2 will work there. and then number 1. Now down here there are some, you know, these are lined up with the crease, so it's going to be, I'm going to have to be careful how I do the, I can't just because I'm going to have to watch, you know, to reduce the chances of bleeding and such. I'm going to have to be careful about how I paste these particular ones that are over the cracks. And it looks like everything's over the crack a little bit. So we've got it stuck down. I'm going to make sure I have my backing handy so when I'm done I can place it on the back. So backing is ready for use. I'm going to start with the fish and work my way down. I'm going to paste a little bit and peel it, dry it, and then lay it back down and paste a little more. So since I'm working on this end and I want to be careful, I'm going to turn it this way. Oh, yeah, you know, we just don't think about that happening with animals, do we? Where they might not be able to feed the babies and such. I'm checking for air bubbles before I get too started here. I'm going to do this guy in sage. I want to duplicate what I see here. And I'm guessing that, I'm pretty sure that's sage. It makes me want to mix sage with a little pesto. I've got some old pesto. To see if it might be a little darker. And since I'm thinking about it, I think I'm going to give it a shot and see what happens. If I don't use it, I don't use it. I am going to just to see what it looks like before I start pasting with just one color. So I put a little sage right here. Put a little distilled water in the pesto. There we go. Trying to get better about cleaning the sides before I close it up. Because when it sits up on the sides, it dries up really fast. Okay. I'm not going to do a whole lot of pesto. I just want to darken the sage a little bit more. So I'm just going to put a little bit of pesto right there. There we go. It's not enough to do the job. I'm just mixing it to see what it looks like. Kind of hard to see, isn't it? But it's a little darker. It's not as dark as pesto, but it's not as light as sage either, right? Put a little more sage in there. I think I like that. I do. I like that. Okay, so I'm going to add some more. And add some more. I don't need a whole lot. I just need enough to do this little guy right here. So let's get this. That might be enough. I think that might be enough. Okay. Put that on there. So first we're going to do the little fishy guy. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going sideways because I want to go with the grain of the wood. Just enough to finish him up. Looky there. Take off all the excess. Let's see how well this did on this wood. I just heard some crackle and pop. That's not a good sound. Not a good sound. We'll see. So I'm going to lift this up now. I get first peek. Okay, there he is. There's the first one. Let me set this over here. Now I'm going to dry him first before I do anything else. I'm trying to be careful not to put the blow dryer onto the the stickiness of the. I love that I got a little bit of different color, different shading in the middle there. When I use the pesto to try to fill it in a little more. There's a few places that I want to touch it up because they didn't come through very well with the wood. So what I'm going to do is take this and just dab it on there. You got the hook sticking out, or the mouth that's open. I'm sorry, that's not the hook, that's the open mouth. And it's really rough right there, so it didn't go through. And then I know this is supposed to be distressed a little bit right there, but I want to add a little bit more of definition of the belly right there. I just think it needs it a little bit. There we go. Yeah. All right. Blow dry it a little bit more. Oh, nice. So let's see. I'm going to hold this up a little bit and see if you can see it better. The wood is kind of rough, so it's hard to see in the camera. I can see it here in person better. Okay, let's lay that back down. And now I'm just going to press this down into the wood, get rid of the air bubbles. And I'm going to do that with this one as well. And I'm going to start with this guy, and then I'll finish up with this guy. This looks like a lure right here, and this is a lure as well. So I don't need the ruler anymore. I'm going to do this lure in guava. And I'm going to do this lure in Lakeshore. So here's the guava. And again, I'm going to go with the grain of the wood. Gotta be careful, I don't want to get it on the fish. There's a little bit of crackling going on where the edge is near the crack of the wood, you know, the space between the two. But I think these are going to be okay. Okay, there's that. And then it was a little uneven here. I think it'll be okay though, because most of the unevenness is right in there. So we'll see. So Lakeshore. I'm going sideways. I'm not going in other directions. I'm not doing this and then this and then this, because that will cause bleeding. Mostly because of the unevenness of the surface. So it's not a perfect stick. So the more you work it, the more you increase your chances of it bleeding. So I'm going to pull these off. There's the lures. Now this guy's missing his line across the middle. So I have another one of these. I have a couple of these. And I'm just going to dab it in here. And, well, that's not working. Okay, so I'm going to use a brush with a tiny tip. Here we go. So I have this little tiny brush. And really what I should do first is dry these. That way I don't risk smudging them. So I'm looking at what you said, Sandra, and I'm thinking, you're working on the necklace and I'm working on this, but is it really work? Is it really work? I don't see it as work. I call it work, but you know, I rather do this. This is just a lot more fun. It's more therapy. More of a therapy than a work for me. So there was a line in the design. There was a line across here, right? Yeah, a line across here that just didn't quite get in there because of the unevenness of the boards. So I'm just filling it in a little bit so that the fishy lure will have a little more definition. There we go. I probably could have gotten this smoother, but I didn't want to risk sanding it down to nothing. So it's a little ridgy right there. which is fine because all we gotta do is add our own little touch to it. There. Okay. Now I'm not going too hot because I don't want to risk messing up the stickiness of my transfer, and I don't want to risk melting the wax. If I melt the wax, it will just kind of smear the design of the fish and the lures. It'll mess it up since this is water soluble. Okay, there's a little spot that I want to. I'm going to take my little pointy little thing right here. I'm dabbing it in here like this. And I'm just wanting to touch up this little spot right here a little bit more. And that little spot right there. I'm just dabbing it in there. Giving it a little more definition. Although I'm sure it's supposed to be distressed, but I'm just wanting it to have a little more definition right there. And right here with the point. There we go. Okay. Dry it again. All right, now this part here is going to be black. I'm just going to do a little bit at a time. Okay. I'm going to come down here. And I'm just going to push a little harder than we normally would in the areas that have the ridges. I don't know if that's going to hurt it. I hope it doesn't. We'll see. I've never chalked on something this rough. So I'm just trying to figure it out as I go. Thank you, Sandra. I appreciate it. Okay. So I'm going to remove all the excess. And lift it up some more. I don't want to risk that drying. The reason I'm doing this is because if the transfer's down and you paste on it and you know it's going to take a while, it's better to do this process. That way it doesn't dry on the transfer, and then when you pull it up, it'll pull up your design with it. So it's better to do it this way when you know it's something that might take you a minute to finish. Now it's starting to bleed. See that? It's bleeding into the, I can touch that up. I've got some paste that'll work to touch that up. makes me sad, but I've got some dune colored paste that I could touch up those spots that are bleeding. Now I need to turn this around so I can reach the other edge. And then I push on the word rules. And these lines right here, I'm going to do in Lakeshore. And the word rules, this is going to be interesting. It's right on this big gap right here. All right, so the word rules is going to be black. So I want to and I'll take care of the bleeding spots after I'm finished with this whole entire thing. Trying to be extra careful around the where the wood is split. The two pieces meet up. They don't really meet up. It's going to be it's going to be interesting. I'm probably going to have to manually touch that up, which is fine. I can do that. Okay. Put a little Lakeshore on the two lines. Woo, that's way too much. There we go. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and peel this off. Oh yeah. No, don't come off all the way. Oh, I just made a mess. Luckily, these bottom ones are black, so I don't have to worry about that. Blow dryer. So it looks like some of the word is missing, and I'll fix that when I'm done. Okay. And the rest is just going to be in black. So I need to work out the air bubbles. I almost forgot. So important. Okay. Now I'm going to try to finish this as quickly as possible. Oh, there's a lot of snap, crackle, and pop going on there. Hopefully, we're good to go for display purposes. Just got it all over my finger. Okay. Scrape off the excess. You know what? I could have whitewashed it first, but I chose not to. I was planning actually to stain it with some gray stain just to make it look weathered. But then I changed my mind because I was looking at the picture in the catalog and I really liked the way the picture looked. but probably would have been in my best interest to go ahead and do something to it first, rather than just leave it as it is. All right. So yeah, it's going to take some touch up. Oh, look at what I just did. Goodness gracious. All right, get that off of there before it dries. Oh my gosh. Okay, how is it that I'm getting this? Instead of cleaning it, I'm spreading it worse. Oh my gosh. After all of that, I might have to sand that off. I probably will be able to sand that off. Okay, clean my hands. It's not on my shirt, is it? No. Okay. Okay. Dry this. Oh, hi, Patricia. Thank you. This one's kind of rough. It's really rough because I've never done something on this, something this rough. This piece, this surface is extremely rough. And I sanded it down, I sanded it down, I sanded it down, and it's not as smooth as I wanted it to be. But I thought it was going to be okay, so I left it. I quit sanding it because I didn't want it to be just like gone by the time I finished sanding it. I'm going to leave those gaps because that's the way the wood is. I'm going to touch up the sea a little bit. And then I'm going to have to use some Dune and clean up that W because it bled quite a bit. And then I'm going to add a little bit more to the U down here. Finish it off. Like that. Same with the L. So I'm trying to join them together because it's cursive. There we go. Just keep joining them together. And the E as well. Join it to the S. There we go. Fishing is good. Rules. Let me put a little bit more of the R in there. There we go. Okay. Now, I have to dry it a little more. I don't know if I want to clean up the bleeding. I might want to leave the bleeding. It kind of gives it a little bit of character. It looks like somebody, you know, tried to paint a sign on a big rough piece of wood. And there's going to be a little bleeding, right? Touch up the two. I might have to look at it for a little while before I make a decision. So there. there we have it. Can you see the whole thing? I have to stain that part because I kind of messed it up. But fishing rules. Bait your own hook, clean your own fish, and tell your own lies. Love it. This right here makes the fish a little hard to see. I probably should have done it the other way, but then the words wouldn't be able to be seen. So I think it'll be okay. I'm going to have to look at it for a while. Decide what I want to do as far as touching up the bleeding. But I'm pretty happy with it. Definitely pretty happy with it. So that's it. That's it. That's what I'm doing today. I may or may not do another project. I might have to go downstairs and do food prep. Thank you, Sandra. So I may just go down and do food prep and walk away from this for a little while and then come back and take a second look at it and see if I want to touch up the bleeding. Okay, you guys have a great rest of your Sunday. I hope it's going as nicely as mine is. And tomorrow is Makeover Monday. We'll be here in this group, and it's that piece of wood that I picked up at Turning Point Thrift Store with a little lighthouse picture on it. And so I did a little prep work on it today, and I've decided what to put on it for Easter, and I'll show you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Have a great day. It's good to see you, Patricia and Sandra. Thank you for joining me. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please be sure to hit the like button if you like what you see, and maybe even subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.